For the final time this year in the Online Cups, it's Grand Final on Championship Sunday. North America, M2KC going up against the Move. Jamili going up against Peekaboo. Former teammates collide in the final series. Of course, M2KC have locked in the #1 spot for North America. This would be their 3rd Cup win out of 6 if they are able to secure it. The Move have been that wrecking ball down in the lower bracket, destroying everyone. Nothing on the line potentially means that they're even more scary than before, and they've really been going at it, eliminating basically everyone else who's representing North America at those summer finals.
Cloud9, Method Orange, The Boys, Gonzo.
Yep.
New Kitty Cats.
Are they next on the list?
Are they next on the list? Find out in the last episode of the AWC.
Oh, okay. That works too.
Move.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, the AWC stars a few more tournaments, like we start the biggest ones of the year, perhaps, you know. So,
I guess.
I guess. But the Move, this will be their last showing here, this finals. Whether they win it or whether they lose it, they can't qualify, but we've loved watching them play. And now we love, actually, I'm really excited for this one because, as I was saying just before the break, they have played against a couple of rogue mages, like yes, they played against Grayson, but obviously Baby Cake's playing the old rogue there, weighing up against Peekaboo. Perhaps it's not the most fair matchup, and then now they're playing against kind of a team that has been that main rogue mage paladin. This is going to be very scary because, quite honestly, when I play Shadow Priest, I'm more scared of paladins than I am of druids.
Yeah, I mean, the composition M2KC has, I feel like I don't really know what the Move can run. I honestly, before we came back, I said I think it's going to be a 4-0 in favor of M2KC. Their composition, the way they play it, how aggressive they are, I feel like the Move's going to be on the back foot, but I'm hoping the Move proves me wrong. I just don't know what they can really lock in as a blind pick.
Yeah, I'm very curious about this as well. I think they will probably try some sort of Shadow Priest rogue variant, most likely. Maybe Jellybeans will actually try and mirror Jamili. Is there a world where that happens? Thugcleave, maybe? Thugcleave can actually be very interesting. Although I would feel really bad for Jellybean.
Hunter Shadow Priest.
Hunter Shadow. Oh. I feel like we've had this conversation before, and I will always say no, but I mean, it doesn't matter what I say, it matters what the Move says, I suppose.
Mirror them.
Mirror?
Godcom.
Would you guys like to say Mirror?
Wait. 2 weeks ago, Jellybeans did say that
he's going to work on fire.
Yeah, his Frost Mage wasn't ready, but he could play the Fire Mage.
Maybe. Maybe he play Arcane?
Absturge weighing up against Rubcub, Jellybeans, and Jamili.
Yep.
Roasty's Peekaboo.
Yep.
Who's going to win?
I think Roasties and Peekaboo is really the only unfavored matchup there for Roasties. Everything else seems kind of fair.
Oh.
Wow. Roasties had a pretty good day today, ZK. You want to elaborate on that a little bit more?
No, I think Roasties is great, honestly.
Well, fair enough. We're just waiting for the guys to get locked in here. It will be the blind pick. It's a best-of-7 series for the Grand Finals, and, I mean, we're not really sure what the Move can play here. M2KC, I feel like out of all the teams in the tournament, will be the one to probably knock them down, although I'm sure a lot of you guys will disagree with me when it comes to that. We'll have to see what the poll comes in later, because often it's quite favored towards the Move.
I mean, my brain's telling me one thing, which is M2KC. My heart's telling me another. It's the Move. I just want the Move to have. I want the Move.
It would be a fitting final send-off, right?
Yeah.
If they were able to win this one. It is going to be their main composition. Jamili, actually, we've seen this before. He's coming in on the Retribution Paladin. Now, I believe, Sid, we casted an open cup where this specific matchup between these two teams went down to 2 versus 2. You were there as well, so it must have been Cup 5, right? Mm-hmm. And it actually went down to a Resurrect, I do believe. I think Jamili actually was the one to res, maybe.
Yeah, but that was against the Boys.
It was against the Boys. Yeah, but it was the same too. It was like Shadow Priest Windwalker, right? I believe.
Yeah, that was Shadow Priest Windwalker Shaman versus what M2KC is running right now, and M2KC did win that, but honestly, it didn't look that convincing. It was a deep dampened res game. It was one of the best games we've seen though all year long.
Pretty good start.
Yeah, not a bad start. Absturge with a beautiful grounding totem is going to be denying the crowd control from Jamili early on. Silence now onto Rubcub. He's already used his trinket. Peekaboo was looking to get aggressive, and I don't know. I don't know if I like this blind pick from M2KC. I mean, I'm surprised that they didn't just lock in the Fire Mage, but I guess we'll have to see. Full Hex now snuck in by Absturge. Jamili could be in some trouble, but there's massive damage onto Peekaboo. Is there any more crowd control under Rubcub? Unfortunately, it doesn't look like it, but the damage coming in from Wizcan and Peekaboo is immense. Nice mind control, and there's no one that can dispel it. There's no one that can deny it. WizCase is going to be able to sit through that entire mind control on Jamili. Rubcub trying to get a heal, but he gets line-of-sighted. Big misplays here. Another mind control comes in. What's going on? Cheap shot under Rubcub into a Hex. right now, the move are completely dismantling M2KC.
Yeah, I don't know about this from M2KC. They're almost basically every significant defensive cooldown out of the way. I don't even think he's running Ultimate Sacrifice, so Rubcub has to use his Divine Shield now as well. Perhaps, though, with 2 hammers, they can lay down the law here on Peekaboo. Absurd stunned up, but no follow-up. A silence from Roasties, is that really going to be enough to kill Peekaboo? I don't think so, and now, I mean, what are you going to do as M2KC? Next crowd control is guaranteed victory. Absurge is coming in clutch with these hexes. Roasty stalls it out by stunning Peekaboo. Big hit in from Jamili as he's trying to counter-attack and pull his team back into the match, but they're already so far behind.
Yeah, Abstage is actually, I believe, running the talents for this short cooldown hex. So he's been spamming out those hexes time and time again here. And I think as soon as the DR is up, he's going to be looking to find yet another one. Rubcub in a silence into a Mind Bomb. I'm not sure what broke that Mind Bomb there on Rubcub, but he does secure a full hex here. A lot of damage here onto Peekaboo, though. On the back foot, Roasties really carrying M2KC here with these defensive kidney shots onto Peekaboo. Now Peekaboo going after Roasties. Jamili, he is not going to have that Hand of Sanctuary. Roasties dropping dangerously low. Gladiator Safeguard gets purged. Cloak Evasion gets traded out, but is it going to be enough here? I'm not sure.
Yeah, full blind comes out onto Rubcub. The Hand of Sanctuary actually can be used to remove Mind Bomb as well, since it is a fear effect, so that's what Jamili is using that cooldown on. Nice to see. Avenging Wrath, big damage. Double Hammer of Justice collides onto Absurge and Peekaboo, though Peekaboo with the feint able to mitigate a lot of that damage. Very well played. Urban Shield Totem preemptively as well. Really nice preemptive plays on both sides. Honestly, both Rubcub and Absturge able to keep their team alive for a long period of time here. Very interesting blind pick. Blessing Sanctuary removes yet another Mind Bomb. No other crowd control breaks though, and there's a full hex. This could well be game if they can find the damage onto Jamili. Is there any more crowd control? Maybe a DR Sap. The Grove comes in. Sap wasn't available. I'm actually very curious he couldn't get the Sap off of that. AWC stun onto Peekaboo. Both sides in trouble. Another mind control onto Jamili. You really don't know who's going to fall first.
Yeah, it is looking like it's scary for both these teams, but Jamili is going to be the most scared. Rubcub does manage to connect the sacrifice, but it's not the ultimate sacrifice. Jamili's just going to die through it. Nicely played by the move. There was a little bit of opportunity for M2KC on Peekaboo, but honestly, the move kind of just styled on them in that game number 1.
Yeah, that was certainly a really good game from the move, and what a wacky blind pick coming in from M2KC. I'm really surprised that they're scared of running the Fire Mage Rogue Paladin into this composition.
Yeah, I'm not sure. The thing is, we're talking about M2KC here. They also like to have a little bit of fun here, you know. So it could definitely just be that case, but I
think they're just having fun.
I think they're just having fun.
Wouldn't even like
that game didn't look fun.
Why else would they pick double Paladin Rogue?
I actually think M2KC would be the team that just plays random comps, and if they win, they look really cool. If they lose 3 games, then they switch and they reverse sweep. I actually think they would be a team to do that.
I think they're a team that would actually go for something like that.
Really?
I'm surprised by that take. I feel like they actually, because they did play this in the open bracket as well into Chun-Li's team. I actually think they like this sort of matchup, and on paper I could see it. You know, in a similar vein to the DK and the Rogue, Ret Paladin and Rogue are going to have a lot of damage, and the double stuns against a composition like this could be threatening. But equally, WizK just on the Shadow Priest, I feel like he's another level when it comes to these Shadow Priests. Like his mind controls were so good.
I mean, not only that. Okay, so first of all, like you said, WizK can just spam out mind controls and get control of the game that way, but Absurge is basically looking like a mage.
Yeah.
Being able to spam
hex.
So you're training down the Assassination Rogue, and you have a Shadow Priest and a Hex spamming Shaman backing you up, and you can't do anything about either one of those things.
Yeah,
I mean, it doesn't seem like a matchup they should win.
Who's cosplaying the mage better in this team, Jellybeans or Absturge in this situation?
Absturge,
He's holding it down. It's nice.
I think his win ratio is better with this mage shaman spec, so I like it. The spamming with those hexes, that's what got them the kill in the end. The kidney shot into the sheep shot into the DR hex, so Peekaboo and Absturge just look on point there, but I feel like this comp just lacks ranged kicks. Like, what are you going to do if WizK decides to stand in the middle of the map and press fear? Like, there's no Tremor Totem. You can only dispel one guy. WizK is going to get, you know... I mean, he was running Mind Bomb now, but even just if he's not running Mind Bomb, you can't shut that down. You can't really get, like, consistent pressure, because if he wants to, you can just play very defensive as well. Abster can spam out hexes. No one can dispel anything.
Yeah. I mean, there is a team in Europe that used to run it. I think Pikachu and Co. Like they run the red and the sometimes sub, sometimes assassination.
Usually sub, bro.
And sometimes sub, yeah, exactly. And it is difficult to survive. Like I've played into them a bunch of times, but you do get the feeling if you play the super defensive strategy that you should be able to survive. But it's definitely a scary matchup.
They also run Repentance though. I feel
Sometimes.
like they play like an all-in crowd control build with the Ret Rogue.
It depends, right? If they're running sub, then they don't need to. But if they're running Acid, normally, yeah.
So, I mean, they don't really have any lockdown with the build that they're running right now, the build that M2KC is running. I would like to see something different from them. Of course, they may just be using this opportunity to feel different comps out
Maybe, yeah.
for the summer finals. They already know that
seeding on
they're
the line?
qualified
No. M2KC is #1 seed, no matter what.
no matter what. So, yeah, for them, it's just, let's see what works, I think.
I mean, they're still locking in this composition.
If they go down 3 points, I'm telling you that if they go down 3 points with these random comps, that they'll probably switch and then try to reverse sweep just to try and look cool.
Maybe. I mean, maybe Jamili just wants to win some games on his ret. Maybe he feels like bashing a few people, like hammering a few people in this situation.
Overall seeding. If M2KC...
Overall seeding is interesting, actually.
If M2KC wins this, do they overtake Method Orange for that 3rd place spot?
I can't imagine so. It's too much of a gap, right?
8-point difference, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, M2KC, they don't have too much to catch. Because Method Orange came 3rd.
Right.
So
920 plus 80. It's 80 for 3rd, right?
Yeah.
So that's 1,000. And
Come on, Sid, you can do this.
Plus,
Yeah, it's 20
okay, it's
off.
not.
Yeah.
Yeah, almost. But not enough.
Damn, you're
so close that I wanted
ruthless,
to
Adrian.
make sure. Okay.
It's actually a 40-point gap.
I wanted to make sure. I know you're getting...
But yeah, anyways.
Okay.
We're going to see it. So Method...
Do you remember him yesterday and he was saying, oh yeah, whatever. I forget what it was, but whatever. You told him off. Good job.
I don't remember what you're talking about, but I'll take
I don't know what
I'll
they're
take
talking
it.
about.
I know what he's talking about.
You do remember.
He's talking about
no idea.
M2KC overthrowing Cloud9 on the summer
Yeah.
point.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Okay, that's the one time I got the math wrong.
Well,
That's
look
the
who's not
one
so
time.
smart now.
Okay,
Mr.
sure.
Smarty
Just
Pants.
because you won one
I've
game
been
of
hanging
Get
out
Back 4
here
in the
for too
green
long.
room, now you know.
All right. Well, either way, the move have the win, and I'm actually super surprised that Jamili's still in the rep pattern. I mean, maybe you're right, Sid, that they're just kind of trying to go for some style points here, try some stuff out, but I feel like if they were going to do that, they would at least experiment with some other stuff. Maybe the double padding can work there. I think in theory, if you can land the double stuns every 30 seconds, you can get a kill, but theory and reality are very different, and suddenly the move have something to say when it comes to their offense as well.
Maybe Jamili's just trying to get his conquest cap on his ret.
Not sure that's how the tournament server works.
Someone should let him know.
Oh, here we go. Mind Bomb lands. Things spiraled out of control quite quickly for M2KC in the last game, but Jamili Rubkov, they're playing much more defensive in this situation. Let's see how this goes. M2KC, they do manage to stabilize through the initial crowd control, and now they're looking to get aggressive over on the move.
Yeah, Jamili looking to actually just running back to the pillar because the Hex was secured onto upstairs. Peekaboo connecting here immediately. Resap as well. Blinding light from Jamili. And now I am convinced that he is going to just be... I'm convinced that me and Sid are right. Full sap onto upstairs there, but it breaks, I do believe there. Unfortunately, for Roasties. It was a nice play, though. And, of course, we see Whiskey now taking a little bit of damage. And Jamili, once again, using his wings and just staying at the pillar. And I just got to ask you guys, what do you guys think of Jamili running the blinding light as a red pala?
I mean, for me, that's actually what Pikachu's team often runs in this sort of matchup. Whenever I played against them in Season 1 with the Shadow Priest Shaman, I think it is nice because, especially if you were sub on the Rogue, you can get a lot of saps off of that. Even as Asso, it seems like Roasties can.
Okay. But he used it defensively on Peekaboo.
Well,
I don't know, but right now Peekaboo is taking quite a bit of damage. The Gladiator Safeguard is going to proc, and unfortunately, M2KC, they don't have a way to dispel that. That's another thing I don't like about the composition, but Peekaboo might just die. This damage is overwhelming from M2KC. Absurge gets Shadow Step kicked. Nicely done by Roasty, setting up his team. There's the Hammer of Justice. There's the evasion feint. Peekaboo's just going to fall down. Smoke. Oh! Spirit comes in. Spirit Lung Totem drops down. I'm really surprised Whiskey didn't use the Void Shift there. That was... I can't believe it, honestly. Peekaboo is surviving 1% health. I mean, that was a nice smoke bomb by Roasties. Absurge did manage to get the Spirit Link Totem out, and at least they still have the Void Shift as a last line of defense, but what a close call.
This is the last time we're going to see the move in the AWC for 2019. Certainly, if you're looking to represent and give your energy, the time is now. They're up 1 point against Mew Mew Kitty Cats, but Mimi Kitty Cats are coming back strong in game 2 with huge bursts of damage. Blind available for Roasties. He can make a play here. Who are they going to go after? Is it going to continue to be Peekaboo? Roasties and Jamili, they're slowly marching to target. Avenging Wrath rolling from that Hammer of Reckoning, but Jamili gets hexed on his Hammer of Reckoning. Absturge cosplaying a mage here on his Restoration Shaman, controlling some powerful cooldowns. Roasties now the target for the move. Roadclip crowd controlled for a moment into a full hex. Absturge on fire right now for these plays. A bit unfortunate that was overlapped with the Mind Bomb. But Peekaboo now in trouble. Absturge trying to recover. He's got to avoid a Hammer of Justice. He gets blinded. He trinkets into a Hammer of Justice. Perfect opportunity for M2KC to close this out. Whiskey is defending, blocking with the Vampiric Embrace, providing a lot of extra healing, but I think Void Shift is necessary. Peekaboo's in trouble. He's all by his lonesome at the moment. Holding on though. Crowd control is over. Peekaboo stays alive.
Yeah, actually this comp from M2KC is starting to make a little bit more sense here. We kind of see how they get to go when they're going offensive, and it's just Roasties landing saps time and time again. Beautiful stuff from him so far in this game, and Peekaboo taking quite a beating here in that Earthen Wall totem. Absturge doing what he can to deflect the situation, gets caught up in a blinding light. Roasties now in a kidney shot, gets a blessing of protected elf, and then he gets another sap here, and Peekaboo is on the ropes here. Whiskey spamming out the Shadowmans, trying to hold on to his Void Shift, and he gets a powered shield here onto Peekaboo as well. Peekaboo shadow stepping to Whiskey to kite Roasties in this assault, and now Absturge presumably is going to be looking for that hex. Jamili in a mind control. Roasties now seems to be the new target of the move. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but silence into hex, getting spammed out. Jamili in a hex, and he gets knocked off from that Tiran Rachel.
TKO.
Yeah, a little bit of a TKO coming in there. Beautiful stuff. I love this cool Tiran WizK. One of my favorite characters to see. Now we see the mind controls coming in defensively, knocking other people off of the map, having a little bit of fun here on Dalaran as we see Sap onto Robcut. Maybe they should put a little bit more focus on damage, given the crowd control chain Peekaboo's been able to conjure up. Honestly, it's been really nice watching both of these rogues. Both Roasties and Peekaboo have had some huge plays here in Game 2, landing stylish, flashy saps on both sides, though both healers have done a good job of sustaining. Absturge's mana is a little bit lower, but in terms of cooldowns, it definitely could still go either way here.
I mean, it certainly could. And M2KC in game number 1, they got completely owned, but this game is looking a lot better for them. However, the move have managed to stabilize. Another hex sneaks in. Kidney shot on Roasties. Rubcub gets caught into the crowd control, gets to dispel. All the damage over time effects have faded, but Rosie's still in a lot of trouble. The Cloak of Shadows comes out. Massive heals come in from Rubcub. The Divine Favor off the back of that Divine Shield. M2KC trades out a lot of their defense to keep Roasties alive, but they managed to turn it around, get dispersion at least from Whiskey as well as the Gladiator Safeguard, and now Whiskey is actually pretty vulnerable.
All right, let's see what they can get done here. Managing to survive a close call. Mana heavily in favor of Rubcub. Perhaps the Mimia Kitty Cats have a counter pick to the Shadow Priest Rogue. Certainly it's pretty sketchy. I wouldn't say that it's guaranteed, to say the least. We've seen consistent swings back of momentum. Whiskey gonna need to be generating some insanity soon if he wants to get into Void form for the next crowd control. He's not going to be able to get into Void form for this stun. A bit unfortunate. They're still going for silence regardless. However, Avenger Crusader was already rolling. They do chain it into Mind Bomb. They need to try and get a Hex. Can Absturge secure a Hex while also defending WizK? He's going for the Aura Mastery Hex. Power play, but Smoke Bomb gets dropped. Vendetta's rolling, and Absturge is scared. He's just immediately going to respect that cooldown with the Spirit Link Totem.
Yeah, Absturge's mana is not doing great in this game right now. Roasties in a kidney shot here, and Jamili doesn't have the Sanctuary to free him out. Peekaboo with the Shadow Step kick. Roasties in a lot of trouble. No Cloak of Shadows available. Is he trying to sap off of this kick? No, he goes for the blind here. Rubcub gonna use his Blessing of Protection to get that off, but the next Hex could be game-changing. Life swap onto Absturge in a stun, and Jamili, he wants to re-Hammer of Justice, but Whiskey is all over that with the with the Leap of Fate there. Nicely done. Roasties now in a kidney shot. Jamili not going to use his Hand of Sanctuary there. Uses it instead onto Rubcub. Gets the preemptive sack at the back of that Shadow Priest CC. And then, of course, the Hex gets broken out by Rubcub from that play. So nice synergy here between Jamili and Rubcub so far. Jamili now looking to turn the pressure onto WizK. And Absturge still looking for a Hex. I think you should just throw it onto Jamili at this point to just reduce a little bit of this incoming damage.
Yeah, we see see the 4 Hammer of Justice coming in. This is definitely scary times for the move. Maybe he managed to fade the Hammer of Justice from Jamili. We'll have to see. WizK certainly with good defense in this situation, has the dispersion available. Might have to trade it out, trying to use the Vampiric Embrace to heal himself up. With the safeguard, it might be enough. Hex being casted. Good line of sight from Rubcub. Rubcub has been so incredibly on point in this series. I think the swap over to Relentless for both Rubcub and Jamili has been a telling difference in Game 2 here. Both of them are running Trinkets, I believe, in Game 1. WizK dropping low. The Vendetta from Peekaboo is not enough counter pressure to save the dispersion, and now there's no defense left on the move. At 20-ish% dampening, it looks like M2KC is looking like they'll wrap up and tie the series in this game.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe the move can hold on, but there's not too many openings. Roasty's getting a little bit low, but it's still WizK on the back foot. Jamili all over him. Once Roasty's connects, it could be lights out. Full Hex snuck in by Absurge onto Rubcub. Roasties has no cloak, no evasion, no trinket, no vanish. One good attempt here by the move, and they could close it out. Rubcub, he doesn't have any defensives. Roasties might be getting a little bit overzealous in the situation. Full kidney shot, Mind Bomb now onto Rubcub with a full kidney shot on Roasties. Sid, this could easily be the game.
All right, let's see if they can close it out here. The move look to advance 2 up in the series. Full Hex secured by Absturge. Can they close it out? They need a bit more damage to push it over the edge, and they might just have that amount of damage. Shadow of Death's coming in. Void Form activated. WizK gunning for the kill. How is Rubcub denying this time and time again? Instant Dispel on the bop. Rubcub, he's got Divine Favor. Instantly dispelled and Windshield on it. Absturge on fire right now, totally disrupting the back line of M2KC, but Rubcub denies the kill with that Divine Shield to avoid the Mind Bomb. Now Jamili going for the kill, bubbling out of crowd control, looking to reverse the pressure for his team.
Spearlink.
Big swing of damage here. Spearlink in 1. Smoke Bomb gets dropped by Peekaboo in desperation. Where's the Spearlink? WizK's in a lot of trouble. Finally, Spearlink gonna trade now. Roasty's on the back foot, and the Moves are gonna take it with a huge swing back. Both of these teams are packing huge amounts of damage.
I still can't quite believe what I'm seeing. Is the move really going to win the last cup of the year here at the North American side? Jamili on the Retribution Paladin. This is more what I wanted to see. I really do believe that this composition does pack a fair punch. You do have a lot of crowd control of the Hammer of Justices, and Jamili going to try play it out, but not to actually win that one. The move are able to play, and I think the thing is, the move are just so good at this composition. It's very easy for you to punish mistakes with the Retribution Pattern, right? You have so much burst. If they do overlap trinkets or, you know, waste a Spirit Link or something like that, they can lose the game very easily. But the move, even though this composition isn't one you'd face very often, they're playing it clinically well, especially WizK. The mind controls are so good, and they're 2-0 up in the series.
Yeah, I'll take back what I said about this composition from M2KC. I'm actually a believer, but I'm not sure. Maybe the Fire Mage Paladin Assassination Rogue just isn't a good matchup here, but honestly, I'm not going to forget that part in the start where Peekaboo was in a smoke bomb next to WizK, and WizK
he didn't swap him.
Me and Ben just looked at each other like, what? this wind shear as well from Absturge, he purges the Divine Favor of Rubcub right there and gets the wind shear, and that is a large reason to why they're able to get so much pressure, why they're able to force out the Divine Shield. And honestly, Absturge played this game so well, just like a shaman god to keep his team going at this point. And of course, at this point as well, they forced out all of the cooldowns from Roasties. He gets kidney shot, and a couple of defensive mistakes there from M2KC, honestly. I think if Rubcub used his Divine Shield plus the Divine Favor, he would have been able to stabilize Roasties, but he wanted to greed it, and, you know, he got punished for it immediately. And then as well at the end, Roasties had his Cloak of Shadows that whole time, could have maybe pre-cloaked that kidney. There's a lot of, you know, defense still available there that he could have used.
Yeah, no, but overall, I think it's fair to say both teams really playing their hearts out in that game. It was a good game. These are 2 of my favorite healers to watch as well. Very aggressive, both sides. It is 2-0 to the move, though. They're 2 games away from taking their first cup of the year. 2-0 is the advantage currently for the move in this series, but M2KC, I mean, we still want to see them running the Fire Mage. I'd love to see, even if this is a disadvantage matchup, I feel like the Retribution Pattern, we've seen it a couple of times now, doesn't seem to be the answer. I mean, even that close game, the move wins.
Yeah, I feel like that was also on a really small map as well. You know, Dalaran is about as good as he's going to get.
Yeah.
The move goes to a large map. They're going to go to Hook. Okay.
Here we go.
All right, here we go. Same thing.
We're doing it again.
I feel like
Whose prediction was it that if it goes 3-0 and then M2KC lock in, maybe Super Tees is actually right after all this. It would be pretty incredible if M2KC just locks in the Fire Mage in Game 4 and then just turns around and reverse sweeps this. But I don't know if it's going to happen. It feels like the move has this one in the bag.
I don't think M2KC is messing around. I feel like they feel like this is their best chance to win. And there was a lot of close calls for the move in that last game. I really have to admit that. The matchup looked certainly better. After Game 1, I thought, this is a throw. What are they doing? But Game 2 convinced me a lot more that this really is a good composition into the move. But the move have found some openings, kind of a miracle attempt there on Roasties. And I can't help but feel if Roasties had just played a little bit more safe, that sort of spiral effect wouldn't have happened. I mean, RubCub had to trade out so many defensives at the end of that game. Things spiraled out of control and they ended up losing. But if they just play calm, cool, and collected, very precise, calculated with their offense and defense, it seems like M2KC, they do have a winning composition.
Calm, cool, and collected Jamili on the same team, Elliot. These guys are going to play all-out aggression. They're leading the charge right now with Absterge currently crowd controlled and 2 members sub 50% health 30 seconds in. Absterge trying to break out of the chain and recover. Jamili getting haymakered to the side by WizK, who's going to be the target here for the move as they try to build some momentum of their own. Jamili looking to be that target. RubCub continuously crowd controlled. Shield of Vengeance going to be shredded. Jamili on the run, but walking into a Mind Bomb, trying to catch some off heals himself with some flash of light, says M2KC, make a tactical retreat.
Yep, a tactical retreat is the best kind.
What were you saying, Sid? I'm sorry.
Tactical is not the same as calm and cool.
Okay, whatever you say.
You can aggressively retreat.
Call it whatever you want. They were hiding behind a pillar, and now they're not. They're swinging onto WizK here. Full hammer just on the Absters. Let's see, Roasties, what can you do? Doesn't look like he's going to get much done. Another hammer of justice. Smoke bomb is the follow-up here, but WizK not even going to have to trade out his dispersion in this attempt. The Vendetta was used a mist of things, and Absters going for an Aura Mastery, Spirit Walker's Grace Hex there. He's not going to be able to find it, though. Nice positioning by RubCub, but look at the Cap Totem. Absters really trying to snipe RubCub in this situation, forcing him out around that pillar, and now Hammer of Justice secured. Let's see if Roasties goes for a Shadow Melt play here, potentially. Not going to be able to find it. Instead, it's the double Hammer of Justice. I really think if you have 2 paladins, you may as well have one of them running the Repent, but instead, they are going to be running the Blinding Light, which is also a really good talent. So far, it's been getting them a lot of pressure. WizK gets kicked, but he is in the protection of the Earthen Wall defense. And now M2KC, once again, looking to calm, cool, and collectedly, tactically.
No.
I mean,
Zico.
I feel like Jamili, I think Blinding Light is the correct talent for him, so I'm happy with that. RubCub, I think there's an argument to be made for Repentance. Equally, the shorter Hodge, I think, is totally fine. Maybe even 2 blinds could be not awful either. All of these choices, I think, pretty reasonable. Ultimately, M2KC are setting up offensive chances. It's up to the move to have a really good defense. Currently, they have 2 trinkets available. WizK still has all of his defense as well, so it's looking pretty good for them in this situation. They've done a good job managing the cooldowns from Jamili. Of course, the Avenging Wrath from a Retribution Paladin is just so scary. It's one of the kind of longest and highest damage cooldowns in the game. You have to respect it. It's up right now. You can see immediately Absurge trades out his trinket. That's the trade they're making. Blessing of Protection offensively from Jamili. Wants to get more, looking for the dispersion, but a triple cap stun. It's going to cause a few DR issues for Peekaboo with his next stun, but it is going to shut down the damage as well. Definitely a worthwhile and good play from Absurge.
I mean, definitely. Right now, WizK, he's looking nice and healthy. He's got the dispersion. He's got the Void Shift. M2KC at the same time, they're doing a great job. Absurge Mana looking really good in the situation. RubCub moving forward, looking for crowd control. I think he actually
grounded it.
Didn't. He grounded
one out of 2. I think there's 2 Hodges, right?
Okay, grounded Jamili's Hodge, but it didn't seem like Jamili was actually in range. I'm not sure what happened there. That was interesting. Peekaboo getting a sap on RubCub. Both these healers are sapped. What the heck is going on? Jamili right now, he's got a smoke bomb, big damage rolling. He's actually Roasties who dropped the smoke bomb. It was the Divine Shield. Jamili gets interrupted. Sacrifice comes in. This is where things spiral out of control for M2KC. The move making plays. I really feel like RubCub should be able to stabilize in this situation. He's lost the Divine Shield, but that is a big victory for the move. They got a lot of defensive cooldowns out of the way.
Yeah, the mover in a solid position to move to match points here. Retribution Paladin not working out so far for M2KC. A significant amount of defense that they need to penetrate through to victory, and I don't think they've got time to go all that distance. Rubcub moving over, trying to pick Jamili up around the pillar. Peekaboo moving in. Absturge following suit. WizK, he's waddling. He's not even moving too fast on the Shadow Priest, but he is slowly and surely making his way back to target. Double stun here from M2KC as they try to counterattack. Peekaboo re-engages, stunning Jamili, denying any damage from him. Absturge is trying to sneak a Hex. Rubcub line of sights it, but gets interrupted by Peekaboo. Absturge is waddling in now as well, looking for a Hex. Any crowd control onto Rubcub, and it's going to be a significant cooldown, maybe even death. Hex has landed. Absturge has stabilized the team. Rubcub's forced to use Divine Shield to stabilize. With the Avenging Crusader, it should be more than enough. It's now Peekaboo who needs to be careful.
Yeah, but massive spell comes out of WizK. Peekaboo in a kidney shot right now, taking huge damage, but Vampiric Embrace plus the totem of Absturge here should be able to stabilize him in this situation. Absturge, he was in a Hammer of Justice amidst that, and now he's looking for a Hex, but I think it's DR. Actually, DR is off. Roasty's in a kidney shot here. He pre-feinted that, though. Roasty's doing such a good job, has all of his cooldowns. They weren't able to go after Jamili in that scenario because he was at the pillar, ducking for his life, essentially, and now WizK in a kidney shot. Absturge, he's trying to ground the Hammer of Justice of Rubcub, but Rubcub waits, kills the totem, and lands it. Roasty's now looking for the sap. He gets the full sap here. WizK could be in huge trouble, Adrian.
Yeah, he certainly could. Blessing and protection from Rubcub on the blind from Peekaboo, so good exchanges for M2KC. They have good pressure here, so WizK trades out his dispersion. This is the Avenging Wrath from Jamili, so they're still going to be up after that dispersion fades. Absturge might have to trade out Spirit Link here. Uses the Ascendance instead, trying to keep his Shadow Priest alive. Trinket, Urban Shield Totem. Lots of defensives forced, but equally, this is the offense from Jamili. Once the Avenging Wrath is down, he's going to be a lot less scary again on the Retribution Paladin. Step kick from Peekaboo into a full Hex. Trying to get aggressive.
Yep, Jamili on the run right now. Flash of light behind the pillar, gets wind sheared by Absturge. Is there any more crowd control? Rubcub throws in the sacrifice, and that should be enough to keep Jamili alive. Right now, the move have totally stabilized, forcing Jamili to run away. Another kidney shot incoming from Peekaboo. Things are looking good here for the move. Hammer of Justice does land. Rubcub trying to set his team up. They can get some pressure rolling. WizK has the Void Shift. Greater Fade looking to avoid some damage. There's a Void Shift as well as the Spirit Link Totem available for the move, so still a solid amount of defense ready. Peekaboo on Roasties now, a bit of a target swap. Jamili's been playing really defensive, so I don't mind the fact that they're going after Roasties now. They managed to get the Cloak of Shadows, they get Feint. Not a huge victory with Feint. The Hex on Rubcub. Kidney shot now on Peekaboo. And M2KC, they're looking to take down Peekaboo. A Hammer of Justice to follow up the kidney shot. Unfortunately, the Hammer of Justice on Absturge was a little too late, and now Peekaboo's going to be able to use his Vanish, his Cloak of Shadows, Evasion. He's got Trinket. I feel like going after Peekaboo is a little risky since he has so many of his tools left to survive.
Divine Shield available for Jamili, but he's not the target. He's not the focal point. Roasties is. They strip off that Gladiator Safeguard. WizK and Absturge tag team for some spell-casted damage, and the move advanced to match point.
Yeah, the move are 3-0 up in the North American Grand Finals, a sentence I haven't been able to say the entire year, but here they're doing it live, and they are playing outstandingly well. Very good stuff coming in once again. Great offense, great defense. You know, we even saw Absturge coming in with, I mean, even lava bursts and the Azerite attacks coming in as well, the Crucible of Flame. It's really nice to see all three of these members contributing to both sides of the play, and once again, no cracks in the shield. They're able to pull through with a victory.
Absolutely stellar performance from the move. They take down Roasties in this game as well, and honestly, it felt like they were in the driver's seats the entire time, kind of just getting the hexes, getting pressure on Jamili, forcing out cooldowns from Rubcub every single time at the back of those plays, and there's a haymaker to start off the replay. Rubcub just getting, you know, kind of sneezed at, and he gets, of course, into that Mind Bomb here by WizK, into the Hex. His Spirit Walker's Grace offensively here from Absturge. That's going to force out all of Roasty's defense, essentially, with that Cloak of Shadows, and of course, we're going to see Peekaboo now taking a little bit of damage, but WizK grips him to safety. Nice Earthen Wall Totem to deflect that situation, and Absturge getting swapped to here, and this is when WizK can really power up and go for the kidney shot here. Smoke Bomb gets dropped as well. Roasty's Trinkets out, doesn't trade out his evasion just yet, only the feint, and now he's going to trade out the late evasion. Jamili gets fake casted on his rebuke there, and that's going to allow Absturge to secure the Hex. WizK and Absturge as well sniping Roasty's down there since he did have the evasion active. Nicely done.
So, I mean, obviously we've been talking about this Retribution Holy Paladin as a decent matchup, and I think it's fair to say it is. Definitely win opportunities on both sides.
It's better than we thought.
It's better than we thought, but my question now is, do they swap it up? Because even if they don't play the Fire Mage, I feel like something has to change, because they've lost this matchup 3 times in a row. They're not going to win the Grand Final with this matchup, I don't think.
Yeah. Wait, did you say they're the #1 seed in North America?
Yep.
Who do they play? Changed my mind?
As number 1, they play against Wildcard, I believe,
okay.
yeah.
I was going to say, if they're playing against Change My Mind, maybe they're a bit scared right now.
Yeah.
Revealing that this is kind of one of their weaknesses.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I feel like right now for M2KC, I'm not convinced that this composition really is their answer. They've lost 3 in a row. The moves seem to always have the defense that they need, and if they can snowball off of one great offensive push, then they just get so many defensive cooldowns, and it seems really difficult for RubCub to actually keep his team up. So I'd like to see them switch it up, and I can't help but feel like if they're not locking in the Fire Mage Assassination Rogue Paladin, which is what is sort of their bread and butter, then they must not think that that's a good matchup.
Yeah.
Where do they go from here is my question.
I mean, that is a really good question, because, I mean, ultimately they're losing 3 times with the Retribution Paladin. I'm not entirely sure what other compositions they could run other than the Fire Mage as well, because I imagine DK Rogue or something like that, which I was thinking about, would have pretty similar outcomes to this. DK still would be able to die, and it would be tough for them to land the kill.
Yeah, I don't think DK Rogue is the answer, but maybe something with Rosita Jones, or what about the RMD as well? They have played it a little bit, I think.
Yeah, they have. RubCub's played a bit of Druid. I think Cub Rub.
Yeah, I think it's Cub Rub, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not
swear
sure.
they're gonna play Arm Pala reverse sweep.
Yeah,
and it's gonna be fast. Like
I feel the same.
That's what I think too. I really feel like Arm Paladin has a good matchup.
I don't think that they think that that's their best matchup. To be honest, I think maybe they.
You think M2KC is throwing?
I think they wanted to win with it to look cool, but now that it didn't work, they're gonna just. All right.
I feel like you have to play your main composition at least once in the Grand Final. I mean, even if you think this is your best matchup, which, I mean, I think is a reasonable take, because some of the games have looked really close. Like, Piku's lived on 1%, right? So it isn't one-sided necessarily, but equally, having lost 3 games, you're not going to suddenly win 4 in the same matchup. It would be, the statistical chances are so low.
They picked a large map now. There's still more small maps as well, so I think we're going to see a compositional change here. The move are taking their time to lock in. I'm not sure what they're going to go for. Probably just the same, honestly.
I hope so, yeah.
I feel like they should. And I don't know. I don't want to say M2KC are throwing, because I think that's probably not it. But I think that...
What is it then?
I mean, I think you might be right. I think they might be scared.
I think they're trolling.
I actually think they might be a little bit scared of the Rogue Mage Paladin matchup. But equally, I feel like they should try it at this point, right?
I mean,
because
certainly
they're losing 3-0.
I might be wrong here, but I swear I remember in 8.2, M2KC beating the move.
I knew it. I swear they were going to let Jellybeans play 1 game. I was just thinking in the back of my mind, like, this is a meme right now. Like,
what's going on
M2KC
today?
are trying to style with the
Today
Reds.
has been such a weird day.
Now that they've lost 3, unless they're listening to me and they just want to like smite me, I guarantee it's their plan to play Rogue Mage Paladin and just the fastest 4 wins you've ever seen against a move in a row.
I'm with Sid.
I actually feel like at this point they're going to let Jellybeans play every single game and try to just get a win and say that all 4 members of the move ended up securing their Grand Final win in the last tournament.
Well, he already won a game, though, on his mage. I feel like...
No, they want to win a game in the finals with Jellybeans on his Hunter, not his mage, okay?
Yeah, he didn't win the Hunter game earlier.
They're never going to win a game with him on a Hunter. Let's be honest.
How dare you?
That's rude.
How dare you say that?
That's rude.
Vanguards was in my ear, and he says that the Ret Rogue would beat this, but I'm really happy to see it. They are going to play the Arcane, and I mean, this suggests to me, I don't think they are trolling. I know you guys are saying that they are, but I really feel like they're trying their best here. Arcane would be the pick that you would choose into Jellybeans on Hunter, I would think, at least.
Would it?
I don't know.
There's so much
it's like the worst thing to pick into Hunters, I swear.
You think so?
Yeah, you can die.
Yeah, Shadow Step Kidney Shot is the scariest thing as an Arcane Mage.
Oh, you have 2 bops on your Paladin, lots of freedoms and
But
stuff.
there's Purge. There's
Sheer. I suppose.
I mean, you can do it again.
It would be pretty incredible if the move wins this 4-0.
I think the move are going to win.
I think they're going to win it now, looking at this.
Wait, you changed your mind.
Yeah.
You were saying Jellybeans couldn't win, and now all of a sudden...
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
but,
literally
like,
just
this
said that. That's very true.
How is he supposed to predict?
How am I supposed to?
This is the
predict
thing,
it?
like, our
Okay,
analyst
so
is broken.
Okay, wait, let's fix him.
There we go. Thank you.
Let's get serious for a second.
Yeah, let's get the comb up.
All right.
Let's make sure it's all good.
All right, let's.
All right. Flatten it out. Yeah, no, a little bit on the left as well.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
My left or your left?
Your left. Well, we're both looking the same direction.
All right,
Yeah,
there we go.
Good.
All right, so let's be serious here for a second. As an arcane mage, the scariest thing you can go up against is Shadow Step Kidney Shot plus a high damage dealer. Now, Hunter qualifies as that. I can see them winning, but I think if Absterge runs Relentless, I think it's going to be pretty difficult, actually. And honestly, I think Jungle is still like one of the hardest, if not the hardest matchup to go up against as an arcane mage. And I mean, this is not Jungle, this is basically Jungle but with more damage. So personally, I'm not a big fan of this. And if Jamili goes into this matchup without picking Temporal Shield, then I know for a fact that he's trolling.
Okay, but I mean, you just said Purge is scary. Maybe he should run another defensive talent that reduces critical strike or something like that.
No, because
yeah.
what you do is you use your mobility to get behind a pillar. So you hide behind the pillar away from the shaman, and then you use Temporal Shield. That way you can survive when your healer's in crowd control, and Absterge won't be able to purge it off. It's actually really insane.
Wait,
Does the
can you
math
repeat
check out on that?
Wait, first you blink.
Yep, you shimmer.
Okay, you shimmer.
Yeah.
You shimmer. and
Wait, could you
behind
play
the pillar.
Blink? Could that be good?
Nope.
No, it's terrible. Then, what do you do after you shimmer?
So you shimmer behind a pillar, and once you're behind the pillar, the shaman's over here, and you're behind the pillar. Use Temporal Shield, and the shaman can't purge it, and that way you get to survive the hunter and the rogue.
Okay, so basically, you want to avoid the shaman.
Yes,
But don't you line of sight your own healer then?
but if he's in a trap, it doesn't matter.
But what do you do after the trap is over?
You can displace, you can shimmer back.
All right, it checks out.
This is just like mage versus mage discussion right now. It's like just making sure all the strategies are there. Hopefully, I'm very curious how this one's going to play out. I don't know.
It's going to be 3 Kiltierans.
It is.
Yeah, what do you do?
M2KC
Wait,
should play
wait,
3
wait.
Kiltierans.
What do you do if you go behind the pillar and you get Kultira stunned out in the open and you get purged?
Yeah, what do you do then, huh?
You're on kidney DR, and you're pretty happy, I think.
But
What if it's mid-kidney?
yeah, what if it's mid-kidney?
Okay, guys, we're loading up into the game. That's enough theory crafting for today. The grand finals are here, and I mean, for the first time, this is literally the first time, bear in mind, so I hope you guys are taking note of this. Zico is saying that Arcane is a bad pick for Jamili here. It feels like the poor guy can't win. Jelly Beans is going to be playing the Hunters, Peekaboo on the Rogue. Let's see if M2KC can do the perfect reverse sweep here. They need 4 games. If not, the Move will be champions of the final qualifier cup of the year.
I mean, let's see what goes down in this match. Jamili right now, he's playing the Temporal Shield, and I think he needs it in this match. All jokes aside, Jamili is vulnerable. Even as an arcane mage, you would think all that mobility helps, but Shadow Step Kidney Shot will shut you down quite quickly, and I think if Jamili can land those traps on a Rub Cub consistently, then it's going to be difficult for Jamili to survive.
Absterge is not Kultiran. Move are not going to win. They're not going to win. They didn't go triple Kultiran. That means they're taking it seriously. This isn't the move that got to the grand finals, although maybe they will win.
It is.
Sap on a Rub Cub, Jamili in a Hex. No, the triple Kultiran. Okay, that's
They
what
played
that's
it one
the move.
game.
It's still that's the move that got to the grand finals. Insane damage. It's match point. Roasties can't afford to throw. Rub Cub trading out sacrifice right at the last possible second. Now M2KC securing a polymorph. Jamili trying to go for some damage. Rub Cub getting swapped to. Jelly Beans might be able to put the tournament-winning game on the board for his team here.
What is going on? What is going on?
It's over. Rub Cub's likely to have to Divine Shield if they can stay on target. He's waddling over. Peekaboo Shadow stepping in. You can tell that they want this so badly. Rub Cub's trying to fake cast multiple interrupts. Dipping dangerously low, but now Jelly Beans counter-pressured. Absterge's gonna link and
goodness.
Rub Cub's out of there.
Yeah, Rub Cub, a lot of greed coming into this match, but he manages to hold on to that Divine Shield. You can tell the move, they want to win this series. Full trap now on Rub Cub. Jellybean's looking to prove Zico wrong and prove that a Hunter really can win a matchup. Sap onto Rubcub out of the trap. That's going to be the Divine Shield. Roasties, he's in so much trouble. He's getting low. The damage rolling in. Peekaboo drops the smoke bomb. Busting the protection. Absurd, needs to get the purge. Can he land it? He does land it. And the move to it. 4-0 against M2KC. I mean, this is unbelievable.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, one last time, let's give it up for the move. They are your champions here in the final qualifier cup of the year.
Slow clap.
They won 4 series in a row, and they beat the 4 teams that represent North America at the
against all odds.
Against all odds. That is absolutely insane.
Against all odds, Jason, I call him Peekaboo. All the move, just a 4-0 sweep. Unbelievable. That's a fairy tale, really.
It really is. And I mean, bear in mind, if Method Orange had slipped up this cup, that was what they needed to get the tiebreaker. Of course, they weren't quite able to. The move, though, it's kind of a crazy situation. I cannot believe it.
Did you see that fake Rubcub just did on Peekaboo's insta-kick right there? That was crazy. And he lives here without using his Divine Shield. This was actually a crazy game from Rubcub. But like you guys already mentioned, I mean, the move, I'm so glad that I had my glasses on for this game, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to spot all of these beautiful plays that they've been making here. They get the trap, they get the sap, Rubcub bubbles, smoke bomb on the bubble heals. As soon as that kidney shot, DR comes back off, and
so good.
So good right there. And Roasties, he goes for the blind.
He got flared on his Vanish.
Yeah, he got flared on his Vanish. Gets purged on the bop. I mean,
just look at this bracket, Zico. Like, this is absolutely absurd. And of course, Jellybeans comes in on the Hunter for the final win.
You know what the most craziest thing about this all is? It's that if Method Orange had lost to the boys in upper bracket and then somehow lost to Get You Boy Dog, the move would actually be going into
a tiebreaker. Yeah, they would have had a tiebreaker against Method Orange, but it would have been, which they may well have won, judging on their performance today. And I mean, it does beg the question, where was this version of the move the last few cups? Obviously, as you can see, they're 40 points behind. Even still, like, if you gave them a 7th cup, like if Blizzard were to randomly say, hey, we're going to throw in a 7th cup next week, then suddenly you would kind of start betting on the move again. Obviously, that's not going to happen, so we're going to have Method Orange and the boys taking those spots. The boys does take the number 3 seed, guys. As we said, we will reveal the bracket for the summer finals here, so that's what we're going to do. The boys, with that tiebreaker and their advantage is based on the season standings, then we can see M2KC is the number 1 team from North America. Method Black is the number 1 team from Europe, and that's how the bracket is going to look. So I want to start talking through this a little bit with you guys. Obviously, one of the big series there is going to be Method Black versus Method Orange. I personally would say that's the worst case scenario for Method Orange. What do you guys make of it?
I mean, maybe it's not. Method Orange, they did show sort of a unique strategy with their Windwalker Death Knight Restoration Shaman. They might be able to make something happen against Method Black and maybe catch them by surprise. But I mean, it is not. It's not the best situation, but I think Method, you really can't count them out.
I actually feel like for both teams, it's not what they want, right? Because both Method Black and Method Orange at every event, they talk to each other, they trade strategies. We talk to Waz and Sidu and all these guys all the time, right? They're practice partners, and now it's going to be a little bit of an awkward relationship because ultimately they will want to help each other since they're sister teams, but they don't want to give away their strategies in that final. So certainly that's going to be an interesting one to watch. I think one of the other ones that I'm really curious about is M2KC, right? M2KC in terms of overall standings, they're currently not slated for BlizzCon at all, really. But if they could do a good performance as they have been doing in these cups, they could shock a lot of people.
I really think M2KC is the best hope for North America, and when it comes to actually winning this cup, I think, I mean, in terms of actual qualifications for BlizzCon, I think M2KC really has a good shot in this summer, in the summer LAN, because you have C9. I think they have a really good shot at winning too, but if they win, it doesn't, like, it just goes to the 2nd place and the 3rd place at that event. So that could be 2 EU teams, you know, whereas I think M2KC really stand a good chance at taking that spot. The other team that I'm going to be looking at is Method Orange. I think Method Orange has really been leveling up. If they can keep going with that momentum and keep practicing, you know, new comps and, you know, keep their Windwalker mage strong, I think that they're definitely a contender from NA as well. And of course, Method Black, one of the favorites. It's going to be such an awesome tournament. I can't wait.
Yeah, it is going to be really cool. Like
It's
both
7
regions.
out of 8 teams that went to the spring finals, I believe, right? The only
Yes.
team we're
I think
missing is
M2KC
we're missing
face of
Polo's
Polo's
team. And
yeah.
yep.
So yeah, I mean, it is the teams that have been consistent throughout the year, and I think that is really, really awesome. Bear in mind, guys, next week, the Arena World Championship, we're going to be on a 6-week break before those finals toward the end of September. We're going to be replaced by the Mythic Dungeon Invitational that will be happening this week or next weekend. Same channel, twitch.tv/Warcraft. I'll be replaced by the beautiful Jack, who does such a stellar job for the Mythic Dungeon Invitational. So make sure you tune into that. It will be Saturday, Sunday with West, followed by East the weekend after. But we've got our champions here. The Move were able to pull through and get a final hurrah, I suppose, here in the qualification cups. It's not going to be them at the summer finals, though. We will have 4 teams from Europe, 4 teams from North America. The top 2 go to BlizzCon. There's 2 more events for the Arena World Championship. You won't want to miss them.